MC, what up, man? Yo, keep the L's, cause I play strictly for the W, that's our chance, dude. No emotion like Kawhi when I'm focused. I stay ready, train to go cause I'm a pro. There's no off season. I'm LeBron-like on the mic, MJ status. I can give two. It's about the opposition, all I know is get them. I'm so disrespectful. There's nothing you can do about it. My dominance reigns supreme, like pieces top with everything. I bring the noise, plus put you on pause. I punish the strong as well as the weak. 5 mic MC amongst the elite, and I roll with a championship circle. You don't believe me? Sit down, let's talk about it with my man Cordell Bowser. Yeah, clap it up for him.
Welcome to another episode of Championship Circle. And like always, I'm bringing you some of the most controversial guests that I can find. So, special guest, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Man, it's an honor, first and foremost, to be on Championship Circle. My name is Ryan Jones, host of Raw Mind Sports Show podcast. I hope everybody's doing well. And again, Cordell, man, I appreciate you bringing me on Championship Circle. It's truly an honor.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you accepting the invite, man, because, I mean, you gave me a whole lot of inspiration and motivation, man. I don't know you know it or not, man, for me just to do my podcast.
Man, that's an honor, man. I try to inspire everybody. It ain't even about capital or money and things, about how we can make each other better. That's what's wrong with the world today. A lot of people don't want to just give free knowledge, man. You got to give free knowledge and pour into people. That's how you make the world better. It's not about what you can get out of it. It's what you receive. Knowledge is always important because somebody can be here today, gone tomorrow. And you got to understand, like, that knowledge can hit you a long way. We didn't have so many people, role models, mentors, who probably mentored us and left a gem. Like, they left us a gem. And why not pour back in just like they poured into us? You know, and then some of them not even with us anymore. Some of them left the world. Mm-hmm. So those moments and time and every single second matters all the time. Every second, every time matters, no matter what.
Yeah, that's how I feel, man. Like, that's why I got into podcasting, because, I mean, I always been a sports fanatic. Like, I go into the barbershops, get my hair cut, and I just go into it can be just quiet in there. They see me coming in, they be like, "Oh Lord, here come Stephen A. Bowser." I mean, that's how I was. So I was like, I just put 2 and 2 together, man, and I was like, this my passion, man. I love to talk and I love sports. So I just put 2 and 2 together, man. I mean, that's how I did it. How did you start out with your podcast?
First and foremost, man, I'm gonna break a few things down. I'm give you a little quick story here. For one, I'm going to start first with your part. Like, going into the barbershop years ago, everybody was like, okay, here go Primetime. Here go Primetime. That was my nickname. So they know I'm coming the same way that you did, right? Your situation, this is about to be some raw thoughts here. So, I mean, your crowd better be ready.
Hey, look, I'm ready. I'm ready. They ready. That's what we do up here.
Right. So, so anyway, with the raw thoughts on the barbershop, anytime since 06, 07, 08, everybody always called me Mr. ESPN. They used to be joking, call me Stephen A. Smith. Ask me about what team gonna win, which team not gonna win. Going into barbershops, doing the little things that talking sports. So they know when I come in, it's all about sports. If it's a quiet day, like you said with yours, when you go into the barbershop, they know I'm coming in with it.
Oh,
if I come in quiet, the first thing they gonna say is something wrong, something ain't right. You must be sick. Heart broke. He might
something ain't right.
You gotta get the same energy. So like when people are used to that same energy, right? Like that energy they expect. Like this, it's always in expectations. Mm-hmm. It is not a good or bad thing, but I'm just saying it's expectations. So if you don't bring that same energy when you come in, they gotta know you for something. That's why I say on Earth they always gotta know you for something.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, from what you were saying about how I started. So what happened was, man, I always used to coach AAU basketball back in the day. And I was just coaching it. Me and my friend out of DC, we met at the gym. I met him at my gym hometown in Tarboro, North Carolina. And I met him at the gym. And like I always had a different mindset. Like I'm always looking outside the norm. So when I'm looking outside the norm, I'm looking outside the norm as in looking for differences. Because like I'm looking at it, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over, it's the same circle, no progression. How do you get better? So like I'm looking at it from a different mindset of coaching. Like this is where it may take. This is what we may need. So my AAU team was it was a small. I'm not saying as in we had at least 12, 13 players, but the size was small. So, one time, I remember when the first AAU game we went to, man, we got our butts whooped because we played a slow style. Then my man, rest his soul, my guy Dennis DeLoach, he's from the Bronx, but he died back in 2016, the end of 2016, and he was on my coaching staff. He was like, man, we got to push the ball. He said, you got to change the narrative. He said, you got to have hybrid team, meaning like everybody got to be like ours. Yeah. So, the hometown, I had one kid on my team that played on my team very well, and he was pretty good. And he still contacts me in day out. Melquan Ames. Melquan Ames played on my team. He played at Weldon for years. I don't know if you should know Melquan Ames.
Yeah, that's why I said that name sounded familiar.
Yeah. So he was a tall, light-skinned guy. Yeah, he played on my team. And we ended up playing guard play. We ended up beating a lot of teams, dominate. So after that ended, I went through heartbreak, man. I couldn't even really mentally focus on the game of sports at the time. I went through heartbreak. I was unbalanced. So at the same time, I was like, man, I'm just chill and try to refocus my mind. So during that time frame, I went through so much. I went through so much that I remember one day, man, I kid you not, this is going to be raw thoughts here. You ready? You ready?
Hey, my listeners always ready. Shoot it at them. Shoot it at them.
Anyway, it's like, man, this is why I say, anything is possible. So during that time, unbalanced, going through a lot, heartbreak, a lot of things was going wrong. I ended up one day, it was something simple, end up missing court one day, and I missed it a few times. So what happened was, I guess the judge, they got me on the roadblock one day, right? And man, they hit me with the hammer. Like they made sure I ain't missing another day of court. Man, they put me on a high bond for no reason, not no reason. They were saying that'll make sure you go to court. Yeah. So literally, man, I sat in jail in Wake County for 5 months straight because of the bond. I didn't want to ask nobody for help. I didn't ask my mom, parents, because they on their own bill.
Yeah.
They didn't do this. Like I had to be a man, so I had to take care of this. I had to get myself out of it. So I was like, man, I'm just had to sit. Even though I want to sit, I ain't never been in jail in my life until then. Like never been in jail like to then.
It was a learning experience.
Got that right. So during that time, everybody was asking me who I was and stuff. I mean, I'm in there with a lot of Bloods, Crips, people who killers might not never see a day in light. Probably
did real crimes.
Right, real crimes. Right. So like I'm in there, I'm like, yo, these guys gonna do this and do that, but see, they had it so secure and stuff. So when I came in, they had that beef with their different crews, but whenever I came, like, no, that guy ain't like that. So a few people I end up randomly running into. It's crazy how towns and hometowns can relate to other cities, and they have other relatives in other towns. So a guy came to be like, where you from? And I named it. And I was telling him everything the truth. He said, because most people in jail, by me not going to jail, I know it. He said, most people in jail lie about their stores and out in the real world. They don't really be doing this and doing that. So I guess when they call somebody on the phone, and when they said it, like, Primetime don't get in trouble. He don't do that like that.
Like, what he doing in there?
Yeah, right. So the guy on the phone, he was like, man, it's okay, man. Just get out of it or whatever. And then after that, the guys started believing. So after that, I guess the people tell me I was a sports guy. Always played sports, into sports. So anyway, in there, them guys like raw thoughts here. The guys like, man, so what you think about that player? What you think about that player? So some of them guys in jail, making Las Vegas bets. I ain't trying to snitch it like that, So they over there got people outside making bets for them. Las Vegas, what you think? What's gonna be the score? What's gonna be the over and under? Or what you think gonna win here?
Yeah, they got bookies on the outside.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So they got them guys. They asking me. Of course, they gave me a little something after whatever to make sure to take care of me at the time because I never asked for them. But at the same time, they was asking me a lot. So everybody's like, man, during that time frame at the end of 2016, probably till like April of 2017, that's when I got out. It was like, man, you need to be a sports broadcaster, man. Say, man, you ain't got no real trouble. You need to be a sports broadcaster. You're a sports podcaster. In my mind, like, man, whatever. I hear you. But in my mind, I'm like, man, it takes so much hard work. I thought you had to have a degree. I thought you had to do this, all that type of stuff, right? Yeah. So like, I was asking me all those questions, like, you had to have this, had to have that. I'm like, man, that's gonna be a tough road. In my mind, I'm like, it's a tough road.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, as soon as I got out and I kind of ended up working for a little bit, and then I ended up meeting my fiance now, and she had graduated from Carolina Media Production, and out of nowhere one day she knew my whole situation, blah blah blah, whatever happened, and she's like, what you want to do in life? And at that time, I'm like, I don't know. I said, people say I need to be a sports broadcaster or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. That's a lot of work. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to go into that. I'm like, I don't know.
Look, it's always a woman, ain't it?
Got that right. Got that right.
It's always a woman, boy.
Yeah, you got that right. It's always one. I'm over here bugging because, like,
oh, man.
I'm out. So I'm like, what you talking about, man? And I'm like, okay, I guess we'll go with it, right? I said, we'll go with it. And she, at the time, she was like, I don't know for sure. So I was like, okay. So anyway, one day, my best friend, the one that played on, that also helped me coach, he lives in Fayetteville now, was one of my AU coaches. One day we was at the house, we watching the sports game, and like we got into like debates. We were talking about some of everything, numbers and stuff. They got Corey, you know Corey back in the day.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey, so anyway,
man. Yeah. So he was talking and talking. So she was like, boom. She said, that's it. I was like, what you mean, what's it? Said, you can start your own sports podcast, sports show, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So what it was, man, after that, I was like, okay, I'll try that. First, I just started bringing up random people, blah, 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 bringing them on the show. Everybody like, man, what Ryan doing? What Primetime doing? Like, they ain't really believe at first. Mm-hmm. So she was like, sometimes it's about your raw talent and your raw ability. She said, trust me, if you got talent, you're an asset, you can make it with the degree, without the degree. But you got to be that personality that brings the audience. Yep. So she was like, I was like, I got you. So anyway, I started bringing a few. Everybody like, man, what he doing? So my thing is, man, like during that time frame, I started learning more about it, started grinding more. And the most, people say genius, I say the most logic thing I did in my mind, and I put into my mind and manifested it and let it stay in my heart, was like, I'm going to ask whoever, whatever, they want to interview or not. All they can do is say yes or no. They ain't going to cuss me out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's either yes or no. If they want to do it, cool. If they don't want to do it, fine. So I started asking everybody. Then all of a sudden, I got really, really consistent. I even had a gala here in Tarboro for that supported volunteer mentors and coaches who don't get paid little to nothing. Really just want to help the kids. I start doing things, even interview guys like Ty Gurley, Montrezl Harrell, Lavelle Moulton, Ned Central, Nolan Smith. I didn't interview so many people across the country that we may know, even not even just amateur players, but like people who are just coaching at certain colleges. Even a guy who played overseas and played for the Bobcats named Dontel Jefferson. He has a book out right now. Mm-hmm. He went to the University of Arkansas. So I'm just giving you a few names. I ain't gonna get into detail.
Oh yeah, that's what we need. That's what this raw thoughts, baby. So like during that time frame, I interviewed so many people. And I just reached out to a lot of people around the country. And like I did my Skypes. If I could interview them before the COVID, if I could interview them in person, I sure would interview them in person, no matter where they was at, like I was getting it done. So I just believed in like, it's okay to ask. And if they say yes or no. So when I was doing that, man, I kept getting more consistent. Then the podcast started booming. So what I didn't do was like put more effort into the podcast. And that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years now, is putting more effort into the podcast and seeing the growth of it. Some videos are cool. YouTube, I have a YouTube. I have a website, rawmindsports.com. If anybody wants to know, rawmindsports.com is my website. Has everything from all my podcast platforms, things like that. But I actually start putting more into that because that sometimes is easier. And I'm not just saying easier because I know people want to see the face. But think about it. What if you're at work? What if you're at work and you can sneak it like, I want to listen to something, put it on my ear as long as I'm by myself doing my job. You guys might not bother me. You can listen to an audio compared to looking at it with your eyes through vision, because you can't work and look at it. So even when you driving to work, you can listen. Or just say a long, just say a long road trip. You know what I'm saying? You can just throw it on and listen to it.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it is more convenient for people. That's why I went audio and stayed on audio. Now I got a lot of videos throughout there, a lot of interviews with videos. I do. But audio makes more sense because it's going to, be convenient for people to listen to quickly compared to like stopping everything they're doing and watching it. Now, if they have time, they get home. Yeah. But, some people may say, I'm going to try to watch it today. But, they may have kids. They may have a family. They may have a wife. They didn't have mind, compared to, I can listen to it on the way home. And it makes more sense when you can say somebody can listen to it on the way home, or listen to it on a long road trip, things like that. So what started, man, after that, I got really, really consistent at it. And I just started diving in, man, and started learning the tricks of the trades of it and learn my personality. Because every podcast, even with you, have a different approach or different niche. Like, you got to figure out your right niche. I'm talking about, because I also have another podcast called the Speaker of Ryan podcast, where I talk about anything from mental health to political issues, relationships, jobs, whatever. Yeah. Speak Up Ryan podcast, and I actually dive into that with other people. That's a different platform for different people who like to listen to everything. So what I'm saying, like the niche, and what got me, man, was like, man, this is it. And I've been so, like, you got to be, like I was telling people yesterday on Facebook. Entrepreneurship is a different beast. It ain't like your daily 9 to 5. You can get a check. You got to double time, triple time, quadruple time work at it. If you want this podcast dream to come true, you got to work at it.
Yeah, put in work.
Right. And you got to have zero distractions, because even when you get off work, you still got to work at it. Like, you trying to create financial freedom for yourself through the podcast world. And there's a lot of podcasters who make a living, great living, off of just podcasting. So you got to really take a lot of focus. You got to keep the distractions away, and you got to really zone in. You can't be halfway in and halfway out with it. You got to be all the way in. And even when you fail to get back up. Like, you can be unsuccessful to be successful. All these podcasters and personalities didn't just walk on the scene and just become successful. I'm pretty sure they got a raw story how many times they failed.
Oh, yeah. I know they do.
Right. And they never gave up. And that's how you got to be. And that's what happened to me with Raw Mind Sports, man. I never gave up. I kept the grind. No matter how many situations may have came through it, I always know this is where I got to go, and it's nothing going to stop me. Like, I'm going to keep going regardless of where it's at. And that's why I have a lot of viewers across the country listening to it, because I give them their own platform, make them feel comfortable, and make them feel like, hey, whatever's on your mind, it's on your mind. Let's chat about it. I don't want nobody coming up there feeling they have to read a script.
That's how I am.
That's what makes it
like just let loose. I mean, that's what I want, a regular conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like we having now, I want a regular conversation, because I feel like, okay, all the regular sports podcasts, sports shows, ESPN, Fox Sports, I mean, they go into like the stats and, oh yeah, Tom Brady threw for 400 yards today.
Right.
I mean, you gonna hear that on everything, but I want to be unique. Like, let's talk about what happened.
And that's a great thing, man, about being unique. Because honestly, with them shows, man, like me and you, let's say, for example, we ain't got a lot of help. We ain't got no like a lot of money to be paying people to help us, unless you, I mean, whoever, everybody's situation
want to help me. Hint.
Right. Got that right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, got that right. It's for both of us. But
I know that.
But with those shows, they have people, they got researchers, they got everything. So they don't need really, the personalities that's on TV don't even have to do all the work. They just got it's already handed in front of them. They may go on the computer and figure out a stack, but 9 times out of 10, somebody already from that network
like
research everything for them.
Yeah, they most of the time they're reading out the prompter. Like if you look at Sports Center, he's like that. Anybody that's on Sports Center looking directly at the screen, they looking at that because they reading the prompter.
Got that right, and that's what they doing. You have some guys maybe like Stephen A. Max,
on Fox.
You notice the work they got on the ground. They looking at it while the other person talking. You can tell they looking at stuff because somebody either they gave it to them or did the research. They probably game planned that whole show.
Oh, they have
2-3 hours.
They done rehearsed it. They done rehearsed it.
Right? Yeah.
They done rehearsed.
So,
like you can tell, you can tell when it's raw though. Like Shannon, he'll say some off the wall stuff that'll throw Skip off because Skip won't ready for it.
Right.
That's I like stuff like that.
Right, because Skip doing it by the book.
Oh yeah.
Shannon on a personality. Shannon Sharp on a personality. It's what it is. It is what it is, and that's what brings out the show. Because I ain't gonna lie, man. Get boring, man. So you got to have a personality.
Yeah, you do, man.
Thoughts. I ain't got nothing against him. But he has a boring personality. So you got to have somebody with some action on the other side of him. Mm-hmm. And I ain't saying that he's direct. He does be factual. He's smart. But it don't make me say, I got to watch Skip. If Skip Bates just had a podcast by himself saying Skip podcast, I know I'm not listening to it.
Me neither. That's how I feel that's how I feel about Colin. on the herd.
Whew.
Like, I cannot listen to this guy, man. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you need somebody.
Right, and it's crazy because, like, and I see his show too. It seems like almost he controls the show, and I'm trying to. My mindset is like, I listen to a lot of Colin.
This raw thoughts, listeners. I told you we bringing it. It's straight from the dome now.
Got that right. So I was talking to I was listening to a lot of his Colin Coward shows, and I was saying to myself, how this guy still on TV? How this guy got so many sales doing the show by himself? How does he be so successful? And he really like controls the show, even though Joy is up there. She don't really get to talk that much. It's like he does all the talking about everything. He may bring a person here and there too. But I'm like, he's really not exciting. But how does he be successful? So I'm like, how does he be successful? The only thing I can think of is his leadership and not being afraid to say what it is. But even though he's saying what it is, it doesn't be authentic. It's not like an exciting saying what it is. Like we say raw thoughts. Or we say, check. Is this? I'm straightforward, but it's bland.
Yeah. That's how he is. It's like he's saying it, but he ain't got. It's like no sarcasm to it. It's just like
right.
Like what you just talking. He just talking. That's all he doing.
Right, and that's what I said too, man. But that's what I be saying with some people, man. But our shows are really gonna be authentic, and that's the best. That's really gonna be the way. That's the new way, man. You gotta be authentic. Like if you go to a show, we try to sell our show to ESPN and Fox right now. The first thing they're gonna say is what you doing. So you can't do the same thing that everybody else already doing.
No, you can't. You can't.
If you gonna sell it, or they can be like, we already got this. What we need you for? So logically, you gotta say, man, I gotta bring something that's gonna be different, and that's what it is. And that's why Stephen A. made it up the totem pole. Even though he's smart. And
a lot of people don't like Stephen A., but he speak his mind though.
Right, and he do it. He says it in a way to where. Now think about it. Listen. I'm gonna take it way back. All right. So now Stephen A. has to be an asset and be authentic and speak his mind, because remember that time he said something wrong. I think it's about Ray.
Oh yeah.
And they gave him, I want to say 20, 10 or 20 million. I can't remember how much it was, but anyway, he's a millionaire now. So off of the show, like, because they needed him. Most people, when they kick you off the show, they don't bring you back.
No, they don't.
People on ESPN to bring you back. It was the asset of his abilities. Like, no, we need him. Like, and that's what I'm saying. As long as you're an asset in life, you can do anything and everything you want, but you got to be an asset. You can't be a liability, you got to be an asset. I don't care what it is. If you're an asset to something, you're going to get your shot. You get your chance. It's up to what you do at the moment, because everybody's moment can happen at any second. And you got to be ready for that moment, because you never know. Person might come on the court. Hey, Cordell, I want you to be on Fox Sports. You got to be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
Hey,
yeah.
What? No.
I got the material right here. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shoot. Oh, man.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much it on my long, boring story, man. But you go ahead.
Nah, man, that's what I need, man. I need raw thoughts like that, man. And like I'm saying, man, like you said, like the James Harden situation. They just came out the blue yesterday. I'm sitting there watching TV with my wife. I see breaking news. Nets traded for James Harden. Out the blue now. So I look at my son. My son a big sports fanatic too. I look at my son. I said, we knew it was coming, but 1 ball, 3 players. What's gonna happen? I just don't know. Right. I want to see this happen. What's your raw thoughts on that situation?
First and foremost, on the raw thoughts on that is, I'm shocked that trade even happened. I knew he was gonna get traded, but I never thought that they were like he could force his way to the team he wanted to play with in Brooklyn. If anything, I'm thinking Houston is going to trade him elsewhere that made sense. Mm-hmm. But looking at the trade, it was a 14 trade, so it did make sense for them. Man, Houston got so much, and Brooklyn sold the house for him. So they got a lot for forfeits, swap picks. I mean, Victor Oladipo, I'm really not too sold on Victor because Victor stay hurt. So I ain't gonna be like
they got 3 handicapped players on one team now. Like you just praying like don't nail one on trip.
Right, because right now they got hospital patients. Like, man, ain't no way they gonna survive. I'm like, yo,
man.
And so I'm like, I don't know about it, but see, with James Harden, this is my thing. Now, this is where James Harden word comes to light. James Harden says, we're not winning here. I want to win a championship. Mm-hmm. So my question is, with this team, this could actually be a good fit. We know KD's the number 1 option. We don't know what's going on with Kyrie Irving. But my thing is, if James Harden really says he wants to win a championship, that means he's going to sacrifice whatever for the team to win a championship. So that means his numbers may go down. That means he's going to sacrifice the numbers. If that happens, if he's saying his word. Because remember, we say he want to get traded, he said he want to win a championship. Yeah. Now you got a chance to win a championship. That means if you got to beat that means you're going to sacrifice.
And then the thing about that is, I agree with you. He's going to have to take a back seat because Harden already proved that he can be one of the best point guards in the league because he averages his assist total, 8-9 assists a game. He could do that. Then he showed from the Thunder he could be that third option. So he got the mentality to do it. But like you said, where is Kyrie mentality? Like he burned his sage, then he just disappeared. I guess he jumped off the earth because it's flat. That's what he said. So I guess he just fell off the earth since it was flat. So we can't find Kyrie, but I think that trade, it was a shot at Kyrie like, yo, we trying to win now with or without you. That's how I feel about the trade.
Right. Yeah, I do. I feel the same way. I felt like it is a win without him. And honestly, I mean, like looking at between the two, a lot of people always like Kyrie, but I'd rather have James Harden over Kyrie. Here's why. Yeah. Because James Harden has took a team to the playoffs. James Harden has won the MVP. James Harden has also won scoring titles. So if you need him to be the second option to KD, he's going to be there. Now, I ain't saying Kyrie's not good. He's not spectacular, not amazing.
Oh, no.
But if I'm going with the two, I'm going Harden over Kyrie. So right now, I mean, I feel like Kyrie Irving is the third option in this. And yeah, he'll get a shot. But I mean, honestly, realistically, KD has led a team before, even though he was in Golden State in OKC. James Harden has led a team before. So, I mean, Kyrie Irving's result of leading the team hasn't done anything. No, like, he hasn't had nothing to say.
He had LeBron.
A playoff battle. Or, right. He ain't even in the cavalier of MVP. Yeah, he had LeBron all the time. Yeah. He hasn't even won an MVP, the highest individual player award you can get. And I mean, James Harden has done that. I think they saying, like, look, man, we might get him off the books. So you want to keep playing? He come back, he'll be third option. He already blasted the coach. So now when they put in game plan, Steve Nash may play. He make game plan game to game on who needs to be the first option in the game. But right now with Kyrie Irving out logically, man, James Harden will be the one bringing up the ball anyway. So y'all's going to get the first shot. I don't see KD bringing up the ball, but I do see him and KD being a lot of pick and roll. They got a few shooters. I saw Shannon and a few other guys on the team yesterday. But
yeah, honestly, Joe Harris a shooter.
Right. So I'm saying, like, I'm looking at it now like Kyrie is the odd man out right now because of the situation. That's why, like you said, you're right. They went after him because they're like, yo, we ain't got time to be playing.
Yeah, like, what did you do?
Right. So, like, when I looked at it, man, I'm looking at it like this way. While Kyrie doing this, I'm going to tell you what probably really happened. I raw thoughts here. KD was like, look, I don't know what's going on with Kyrie, but I can't do this by myself or I'm going to want to be traded. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't know what Kyrie got going on. I don't even know when he coming back. But I came here because Kyrie was going to be here. Kyrie's not here. So now I'm on a team by myself trying to win a championship. Look, I need some help, man. I'm just telling you that, man. Or I'm going to want out. Yeah. I'm going to ask for it.
And I can hear that conversation.
Right. He probably like, they were like, well, we got to keep him happy because at least he here. He healthy. We got to do whatever it takes to keep KD happy. And what it was, they're like, man, we might as well go ahead and try to see what we can do to get James Harden. And that's what it was, man. I mean, like, because you got Mike D'Antoni back there as an assistant for Steve Nash. Steve Nash played under Mike D'Antoni. Yeah. Perfect James Harden. So, you know, I mean, like, for him to do, he need to do the pick and pop, pick roll. That's going to be beautiful. But I'm just saying, Kyrie going to be the odd man out. Everybody thinking it's Kyrie going to be here and be that, man. Look, Kyrie and James Harden, if I'm going with which one I want, I'm going with James Harden off the rip. Yeah, just honestly right now. Because, I mean, because he's a bigger size. He can post up. He can do so much. He ain't just a dribbler trying to make moves and create and razzle-dazzle you. He going to do whatever it takes to get the ball in there. So, I mean, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, do you think that the Nets can beat the Lakers in a finals game?
Right now, man, I'm telling you, man, everybody always like to talk about LeBron, LeBron, but every team they always get to the championship. So that shows a lot about him, regardless they win or lose. The Nets, it'll be a good series. But I'm looking at LeBron James, I'm looking at the KD matchup. Then you got AD. That's going to be the X factor. AD is always the X factor in that series. I know James Harden can handle Schroeder. you're going to need Kyrie in this series to be the third option. Like, he has to be the third option. But them two by themselves, KD and James Harden beating the Lakers in the series, but just them two, it's going to be hard. Now, if they get Kyrie Irving as a third option, being on team is third option right now, then we got us a series because it's going to take that. Because I'm telling you, even with LeBron and KD going to each other, that might default. AD is going to be the X factor. I don't think DeAndre Jordan ain't going to be able to. He can do so much with DeAndre Jordan. He can pull up. He can shoot the three. He can bring him out the back. There's a lot of stuff that he can do. I don't think nobody on that team can guard AD. A healthy AD is going to be the X factor in that series, and that's going to be tough. Plus, with the guys they can shoot the basketball, man. The Lakers move the ball so well to get people open as well to get that space. So, them beating the Lakers, for them to even be in a series with the Lakers, they're going to need all three of them guys to play.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Kyrie got to be sold all the way in, man. That's the only way I see them even attempting to beat the Lakers. He got to be sold all in, man. If he ain't sold all in, man, it was just a waste of time for him to go.
You're right. And that's what's hurting the situation. Because now I feel bad for KD, but now KD probably happy now he got James Harden because, like, yo, I came here for you. I ain't come to Brooklyn. I'm a DC guy. Yeah. He said, shoot, if I wanted to, I could have went back and played for the Wilson, played my hometown.
Right.
And could have made some noise with Bradley Beal. So I'm like, yo, I could have went here, but I came here for you, simply for you. I understand what's going on in the world and your mind is not there. And I'm pretty sure KD respects that, but it's still on another level. Like, y'all respect what you're doing, but be fair to me, and that's what it is, I think.
Yeah, man. And I know you're a big football fanatic too. So, like I said, we raw thawing it out on this sports podcast this early morning. So, what's your take on the playoffs in the NFL right now? I mean, how your lookout coming out for the Super Bowl? Who you got in the Super Bowl?
I got Green Bay and Kansas City.
Green Bay, man, for real. You got Green Bay.
Yes. I got them because I'm telling you, man, I'm looking at them.
So you going with Aaron Rodgers?
Right now, Lambeau Field. Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna tell you, and this is why. This is why I'm thinking about the series, man. I'm looking at it like Aaron Rodgers, the weapons. He got quite a few running backs. They've been to the NFC Championship several times in a decade. Couldn't get over the hump. They played against us several times in a decade. The 49ers, I'm a diehard 49ers fan. They couldn't get over the hump. Now I'm looking at it in the cold weather. The LA Rams going to Green Bay in very cold weather. Mm-hmm. They used to that sunshine, good weather, and I love Jalen Ramsey, but I'm just telling you, man, Matt LaFleur is probably going to dial up some plays, not the conventional way, but certain ways to get Devontae Adams involved. They ain't going to be I'm just run them up and make a play and we just going to run a regular route. He might set him in motion a lot. He might do a lot.
You think Ramsey will follow Devontae? You think he'll follow him all game if push come to shove?
Me personally, he ain't got no choice. Ain't nobody else can be able to guard Devontae Adams.
No,
if they want to win.
Not.
If they want to win, I don't think the other corner can do anything with Devontae Adams. That's a Ramsey only matchup there. And, right now, everybody we've been talking about good receivers lately over the past few years, but Devontae Adams has came one of those elite receivers, like one of those guys who got job done. So I'm saying, like, with him, I'm looking at Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, the vet. I feel like this is the year. And me personally, the Saints is really who should get to the Super Bowl.
That's my pick.
The Saints are the teams what I call an accident waiting to happen. For years and years, the Saints have been successful, but for some reason, every single year, something always happens for them to lose.
2 years straight.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
In the dome, they lost to Kirk. Like, Kirk Cousins is a guy that you don't even really respect on an elite level, but he does a little bit. But you Cousins in your home on your home field, so that's what hits me with him. Now, Drew Brees gonna be smart. He does a lot. Alvin Kamara can do so much for you. They lost Quan Alexander, but it's just something about the looking at them last week against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I really won't sold them. Then I'm looking at Green Bay winning to there earlier this year and beat them guys in the dome. Now, if Green Bay wins this week against LA Rams, the Saints got to come to Green Bay.
Yeah.
They got to come out in the cold. They don't have to go to the dome. They got to come to the cold. They number one
that's
seed.
the advantage
So
Green Bay got.
Right. And that's the thing about Green Bay this year, man. They actually, the number one seed is help them. And this is what going to propel them over the hump because they play this extremity weather. And I feel like that's what it is. And that's why I said to myself, once Green Bay got number one seed, I feel like they go to the Super Bowl. If Green Bay was number 2 seed, 3 seed, I wouldn't have said no. They would have went to the Super Bowl. I'm going off based off of you got to play in Lambeau. And that's why they can sling it no matter what the weather is. And that's what I'm going off of about the fact that they got the number one seed and they're playing at home.
And see, let me flash you back right quick. I know you're a 49er fan.
Okay.
I heard the same thing back Kaepernick at Lambeau in the cold.
Yeah.
20 degrees. Right. Oh, the 49ers got to go to Lambeau. Right. It's going to be too cold for Kaepernick. Kaepernick ran the stat charts up. Like, he rushed for what, 180, 186? So
he ran it up pretty good.
Yeah, he really did.
The 186, that was the 186. What you talking about was when they played. That was the year the 49ers went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The next year is when we went to Lambeau. He ran. That was the stats you're talking about. We were playing in San Francisco in the divisional round.
Yeah,
but that's that. But that next year we went in the cold.
In the cold,
he played amazing. He had like 200-some yards passing. We ran the ball, but you know the 49ers and Jim Harbaugh was a run first, play action run. So I
always
play actually works. So, but people didn't understand that now. You asking like for I know the Saints. You probably said Saints, but Jared Goff, I'm not sold on him yet. Man.
Hey, look, I ain't never been sold on Goff.
And we beat them twice this year, unhealthy. That's the crazy part. Like,
I ain't never been sold on Goff. Never. With the broke finger and all.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Saints can probably go out there and give them a run. But I don't think about it. Saints got Tampa Bay. Man, I ain't gonna lie. The NFC Championship gonna be good. If Green Bay's there, if the Saints are Tampa Bay there, that's gonna be a good championship game. It's gonna come down to Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Which Hall of Fame quarterback don't make the mistake?
Mm-hmm. Cause Russell Wilson, I mean, hey, to me, there was the play calling. I don't think it was Russell's fault. I think it was more play calling than Aaron Donald that lost them that game.
Right.
So with Russell Wilson out, like you said, we got the 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks left. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. Which one going to land on top? Out of Drew Brees and Tom Brady, only one can rise anyway.
Right.
Now you got Kansas City waiting with one of the youngest star quarterbacks in the league, waiting for one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league.
That's why I said, man, like I ain't even gonna lie, AFC wise, I know Kansas City going. I'm gonna book that. It's like I'm just saying, Andy Reid, the way he dial up plays, Eric Bieniemy, the way they dial up plays, even with a great guy with Patrick Mahomes, like I be looking at some of the play calling. I'm like, yo, these guys be wide open. It ain't just Patrick Mahomes, like the play calling they be calling on these defenses, like they read them, like make them. It's hard to stop them, and they got all this speed and utility players. You know, and the only way you're gonna slow them down is you gotta have a strong running game, which the Cleveland Browns got.
Yeah, they do. But I'm taking Juju words on this game. The Browns gonna be the Browns. I see it. I see it coming. Right.
And no, I agree with that. I agree with that too. I already know that. And I say to myself, like, they may run the ball, but it's gonna come a time when Baker Mayfield his arm gonna have to win the game. I don't see it. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm telling you, man, you got to score points against Kansas City. Kansas City does play down to their competition, but don't get it twisted. Kansas City can run the score up too. I feel like this week it's gonna be a different week, and they're gonna have to put up some stuff.
Yeah,
you know how they go.
Yeah, and for the Browns part, man, I think they get house money for just making it this far. They beat their rivals. They'll beat their rivals, embarrass them. I mean, they get participation trophy.
Now I'm just disappointed, but you're right. They do, boy. Boy, I'm hurt with Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh really disappointed, but
yeah, man. I didn't see that coming.
The only thing we can say is, me either. I said, I know this. I said, Cleveland Browns, you did good. You finally got back to the playoffs from years of breaking hearts.
11-5 record.
But you had a nice ride. Right. You had a nice ride. It's over now. It's over.
Yeah. The dream, the pumpkin, all of that is over with. Clock strike 12. Yeah, man, but just one more. Talking about the Steelers. Ben Rosenberg, do he come back? Do they cut him? What they do with him? Do he retire?
Me personally, man, he might as well retire. I really think they're gonna make it smooth. Like they probably gonna talk to him like, look, Ben, we don't want to pay you this money, man. So I think I suggest you retire. We ain't trying to trade you because we don't want that drama. You know, so I'm thinking like, even though he said he feel good, he want to come back, and their mind like, yo, they might really cut him, man, because that's a lot of money they owe him. Like you got a lot of people they got to sign back. They got to sign back. Ted Watt, Bud Dupree,
Juju a free agent.
Yeah, he a free agent. Juju a free agent too. So I'm saying, got a lot to sign to be giving him that money. And if you give him that money, you pretty much already said, look, we ain't signed nobody else back. So everybody about to be scot-free. Saying like Juju, shoot, you never know. Juju might even want to come to San Francisco.
Hey, look,
TJ Watt might want to come. I don't know. Right. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they pay him this money, they gonna be able to sign nobody back this shit. Plus, the salary cap is down because of COVID. So that's a whole nother situation. So I think he might have to retire, or they may just cut him. If they don't got to pay him that much and cut him, and it keeps them from paying him all that money, they'll do it. Do he want to retire? I don't think he wants to retire because he's bad about the wild card, so he want to come out and get his face back. But I'm telling you, the Pittsburgh Steelers probably like, look, man, you had a great career. And look,
you're a Hall of Famer. Wait for your gold coat. It's coming.
Right. 2-time Super Bowl champion. I mean, hey, you good, man. You good. We're gonna go in another direction here.
All right. To me, I don't know how this sound to you, but I can actually see them like trying to talk being into retire or even cutting him, then he retire and bringing in Cam Newton. Can you see that?
I wouldn't be surprised because that'll be a cheaper deal. That's cheap. It makes more sense. They ain't got to pay Cam Newton that much. You bring in Cam, it's a lot cheaper, better offer, more mobile. So I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because it's cheaper. Now I don't know how the production gonna go with Cam and the system they run, whatever, but I mean, it makes sense for business, for the Pittsburgh business side of it, not just football, but business side too as well.
And Ryan, man, once again, man, I appreciate this interview, man. I appreciate you blessing me, yo.
Man, absolutely, man. I appreciate everything. It's an honor to be on your show, Championship Circle, and I'm just grateful. Like, you know, it's good to get on the superstar show. You know,
come on, man. I'm trying to get on your level, man. Hey, look, tell the listeners where they can find your podcast at, man.
Raw Mind Sports Podcast is on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Podcasts. You better like and subscribe, and you'll see a show every Friday that comes out from one of my from that podcast, from either one of my podcasts, that and the Speak Over Ryan podcast. But Raw Mind Sports is also rawmindsports.com. You go to rawmindsports.com and find anything you need. You can so subscribe from the website. Enjoy this good raw thoughts I bring out from Raw Mind Sports, and that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, and I'm gonna have to bring you back on, man, cause you know I ain't get to talk about my 49ers, man, so I'm gonna have to bring you back on and talk about them, man.
Absolutely, man. I always enjoy that conversation.
All right, I appreciate you, and to the listeners out there, be blessed, be safe, keep them masks on, stay sanitized. Championship Circle. Until next time.